Guess who's back? After quite a while, I am back with this podcast that I think you will be able to for sure relate to and enjoy. But first, just to get some housekeeping out the way, you can check me out online, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all the same handle at loniswain, LONISWAIN. And this podcast is actually inspired by a meme that goes around on social media that says, my hobbies include being difficult and not responding to text messages. Yes, my hand is in the air. That is totally me. And I am so proud of that because you know who thinks that you're difficult? People who don't respect your boundaries. You know whose text messages you don't reply to? People who have disrespected you or are not contributing to your life in a positive way. But it's unfortunate that the people who sit back saying, "Oh, she's difficult. Oh, she's not responding to my text message." They have no idea that they are really the problem. So this podcast is for those people to maybe recognize who they are and why people are difficult with them and why their text messages are not being responded to. And for you, the person that is considered to be difficult and not responding, to understand that you are justified and you should wear that title proudly, because to be considered difficult and not responding to text messages, you have established boundaries. And boundary setting is a healthy thing because 9 out of 10 times the person that you don't respond to has done something to make you not want to respond to them. And you're difficult, quote unquote, because they aren't respecting your boundaries. So anything that goes against what they want is considered difficult. So here are some of the people that probably consider you to be difficult. Tell me if you agree. Ex-boyfriends, texting at inappropriate times of the night, texting inappropriate things, texting after you've told them you don't have anything to talk about, calling, texting, being persistent about wanting something that you've already communicated you don't mutually want. Coworkers, texting inappropriate things or calling or texting after business hours. Y'all don't have nothing to talk about after business if y'all are not friends. So-called friends who only text you when they want something. So-called friends who always want something from you. They never call just to say, "How are you?" Friends, so-called friends who never call you or return your calls but can only text. They're so unavailable. They're somebody who you don't need to respond to. So-called friends who never have anything to say, who just want to, "Hey, what's up?" And then after you respond what you're doing, the conversation just drops. And that goes for people trying to date you or so-called friends. People who text you and just start rambling about what's going on in their life, or call you and just start going on and on about what's going on in their life and never, ever express a genuine interest in what's going on in yours. All of those scenarios that I just described, and I'm sure there are plenty more that I didn't touch on, are not healthy. They're not a balanced, mutually beneficial relationship scenario. So you're totally warranted to not respond to any of those text messages, to not respond to the phone calls. You have every right not to, and you're justified. I'm here to tell you. And the people that are doing that and looking for a response and looking for an answer, they don't care about you being uncomfortable. And that's really the biggest point in all of this, that so many times, especially as women, we are so concerned with appearing to be a bitch or seeming like we're being rude or we're being mean. So we do a lot of things that we're not comfortable with. We call people back when we really don't feel like talking to them. We respond to text messages to guys who we know we're not interested in, but we don't want to be mean, or, texting that person back, that so-called friend or that coworker, or going to somebody's party, or doing things for people that we don't feel like doing, or we know they would not do for us, or the relationship doesn't warrant it, and we do it anyway for public perception, for not wanting to appear to be mean or rude. But yet these people have no regard for how their requests or their imposition makes us feel. So why are we worried about their perception of us? We know we're not mean. We know we're not rude. So why do we care what other people think about us, especially people who have shown us and consistently demonstrated that they don't value or prioritize our time or our boundaries? I'm gonna just let that marinate for a second. And it took me a while to really embrace that concept. But once I did, baby, let me tell you, it gets so much easier to do after you do it a couple times. Say no. Don't respond to the text message. Don't return the phone call. But you might be saying, well, what if I run into them? Then what am I going to say? Nothing. And if they're so bold and brazen to ask you, why didn't you return their call, or why didn't you respond to their text message? Amir, I was busy. I had other things to do. I don't encourage lying, because none of these people are worthy of being lied to. You don't owe them anything. Your time and your free time is your priority. Your time is yours to do with as you please. Unless they paying your phone bill, who you talk to, who you respond to, who you text is your business, not theirs. So I challenge you to tell a few people no and mean it, and not offer any explanation, and get on social media and post that meme saying my hobbies include being difficult and not returning text messages, and be proud because you set some boundaries.